Hello, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. And today, I want to talk to you guys about the latest episode of the Boruto anime. Boruto episode 219. The episode just aired today. And I know I don't normally talk about the anime, but the reason why I wanted to talk to you guys about this episode is because when I watched it, I noticed there were some things that they changed and some things that they added that I really wanted to discuss with you guys. Now, I'm not going to go over the entire episode because a lot of the things that happened here also happened in the manga. And if you want to know my thoughts on these events, you can check out my manga reviews. I just want to focus specifically on some of the things that they added and some things that they changed. And there's two things in particular that I really want to discuss. So the first thing that I want to talk about happens to do with Naruto and Sasuke. So we get a scene in the anime that again we did not get in the manga, but it's Naruto and Sasuke in the hospital, and they're talking to Sakura and Katasuke, if I remember his name correctly, and they're basically discussing what ended up happening. Now they talk about how because Naruto of course doesn't have Kurama and Sasuke doesn't have the Rinnegan, they basically confirmed that yes, both of them did lose a lot of power. However, I did find it interesting that they didn't specify exactly how much power that they had or that they had lost. And then Sakura basically confirms to Naruto that, yeah, you won't have that insane superhuman strength anymore. And Naruto basically confirms, yeah, I kind of already knew that because, Kurama did tell him that. But they did also hint that there might be something else going on because Naruto does say that it's more than just that he doesn't have Kurama anymore. He talks about how specifically he describes it as there's like a hole in him that that just feels empty, which does kind of make sense. Now I don't know if he's referring to emotionally or if it's like actually spiritually, or we don't know. Maybe he's just feeling empty because he doesn't have Kurama anymore, someone who's been with him for years, or if maybe they're hinting at something else. And another thing that they added that I thought was very interesting, but is that when Naruto says, it feels like there's a hole that's empty in him right now, they cut to Sasuke and they show a reaction from him that I think is very, very interesting. And I don't know if maybe they're trying to hint at something that's going to happen in the future. I don't know. Again, I was just curious as to why they had that. Now, my theory is that maybe they're trying to do something with Sasuke. Again, I don't know. I've always thought that to me it was a little bit weird that we never got to see exactly how Naruto and Sasuke felt after what happened, and they are trying to cover that in the anime, and I do appreciate that. And then later on, of course, they talk about Sasuke. We get to see him with an eye patch, although in the next episode preview, he doesn't have that anymore, so that's pretty much gone. And something that they did have Sasuke say that I thought was very, very interesting. Well, actually, it wasn't Sasuke, it was Sarada. Is that after they came back, Sarada is talking to Boruto after he confesses that it was, in a way, him who took out Sasuke's Rinnegan, even though it wasn't actually him, it was Momoshiki when he took over Boruto. Sarada tells him that him and Sakura did kind of prepare for this. Now I'm wondering what exactly she means by her and Sakura prepared for this. Did they mean that they prepared just in case Sasuke were to ever get his Rinnegan taken out? Or did they prepare, like maybe they had a contingency, or did they prepare for that to happen because, Sasuke is always out there. He's, in the basically in the dark underworld of the shinobi world, and because he has a lot of people going after him, so maybe they thought that at some point someone will try to take out his Rinnegan, so they kind of prepared for that. Or did they mean something else? We don't know. Again, now Sasuke does respond with an interesting line. He says that a shinobi has to deal with the hand he's been dealt. Now, I really hope, I hope and pray that this doesn't mean that they're just gonna have Sasuke go on without an eye and an arm, because I'm sorry, it just does not make any goddamn sense for him to do that. Okay, it's just this whole thing where he's just okay with not having an arm or just not having an eye is stupid. Okay, it's not something that makes any sense for him to just be okay with, especially considering it does play a very important role of protecting the village, like I said, from the dark side of the shinobi world. And for him to just be okay with being limited in that way, and even though he's still a very powerful shinobi, It just does not make any sense. And please don't come at me with that whole they got it got taken out for the narrative or whatever the fuck. I don't give a fuck what the narrative is. If you're telling me that your narrative relies on characters being stupid, then your narrative is badly written. Okay? Don't come at me with that narrative shit. I don't want to fucking hear it because it's stupid and I never once bought it. So those are just my thoughts on that whole thing with Naruto and Sasuke. Now I want to talk about code because there's something very, very interesting that they removed. And I can't help but wonder if maybe there's a chance that they're not going to go through with this in the manga, or or if they're going to find some way of addressing it later on in the anime, because in the manga, when we cut to Code and then Ishiki's soul shows up to him and he tells him that, yeah, like they killed me, I'm gonna die, I'm gonna leave. And he tells Code to he basically tells him, you've inherited the will of the Otsutsuki and so on and so forth. If you've read the chapter, you already know what I'm talking about. But he also says that he wants him to fulfill the will of the Otsutsuki, which is to go from planet to planet, just absorbing chakra until he eventually becomes like an Otsutsuki god or whatever. And they completely cut that out of the anime, and I just thought that was very, very interesting. And that's not the only thing that they cut out. They also cut out the part where Code basically asks him, okay, who was responsible for doing all of this? And Ishiki then tells him, and that's how he knows it, it's Naruto, it's Sasuke, it's Boruto, it's Kawaki, and Amado. And to me, it just feels weird that they cut out. And I don't know if maybe they're going to have a certain character explain it to him. I'm not going to say who it is because that would be spoilers for the manga. So I don't know. Again, maybe they're going to rectify that with a scene later on involving, like I said, a certain character from the manga. If you read the manga, you know who I'm talking about. But if you hadn't, don't worry, I won't say it here because I don't want to spoil it for you if you did not read the manga. And of course, they do also have that scene where, and it's a little bit different than how it happened in the manga, but that scene where Amado is telling Naruto and Shikamaru about Code, and he talks about how Code is pretty powerful, how he limited himself because he revered what was his name, Isshiki, and how he's going to seek retribution for the people who took it away from him. And I'm not going to lie, I did kind of laugh at this scene because imagine if you're Naruto, like you just got done, like you just went through saying goodbye to your friend and maybe making some sort of peace with that, because at the very least he gave his life eliminating the threat, and then now this guy's telling you there's a threat out there who's stronger than the guy who whipped your ass even when you did have Kurama. I'm not gonna lie, that it's kind of funny. I mean, I remember I was kind of pissed when I read this. Well, not necessarily pissed, I think I was just annoyed because I don't know, it just felt kind of contrived. But if you think about it, it has to suck for Naruto knowing that there's still a threat out there who is stronger than the guy who again kicked your ass even when you did have Kurama. And it's like, so you're telling me my friend gave his life for nothing? I mean, that just it has to suck. And again, I know I'm laughing, but I'm still not happy that they did this. I still think it was stupid that they killed off Kurama. It just felt like it was completely unnecessary. I don't know. To me, I just feel like it, again, like I said, it wasn't necessary. You didn't need to do that. But anyway, those are just my quick thoughts on the episode, specifically when it comes to those two things that I wanted to talk about. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Like, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff. I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.